Hey guys, guess what? Bet you haven't seen one of these, Synplant 2 video. This has been the talk of the town for the last several days since it was just released, or at least the update was released. This plugin, I think, has been around at least 10 years. At least that's how long I've been using it. And it's just really, really great for creating sounds very quickly, even if you don't have sound design skills. And the sounds that it creates are really out of this world, really interesting stuff. So essentially, this is a synth right here. And this little plant here is kind of how you develop sounds. So for example, what we would do is we would just right click on this, what we would call the seed, right? And we could just create a new random seed. So now we've got random sounds, and each note, although they each sound the same in this, each note can actually be stretched and changed. So for example, something like this, you get a lot of variation in the sounds of the notes. If you liked something in particular, like let's say I like that, I could actually take this seed here and right click, clone selected branch. There we go. So now all of these become that sound. And then we can play around with these as well. Then of course, if we don't like the sound, we can go and plant a new random seed and see if we like it. And somewhere around here, you can change all of them at once. I'm trying to remember how that's done. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you see that circle there. You can grow all of them out like that. So actually, as you can see, you could go pretty wild with this. And then you can adjust these basic settings, the effects, how wet or dry, or turn it all the way off. Atonality. Obviously, release time is how long it takes to fade, and then tuning is just the note. Got it? So these are all the basic functions that you had in Synplant 1. And with each of these sounds, if you want to, you could actually go in to what's called the DNA, and now you can go into individual settings and tweak any of the knobs. It's just a crazy amount of options that you have to work with, which is really, really great. But I think what we're here for is this new AI feature, which is this right here, called the Geno Patch. What this does, it allows you to drag any audio into here, and it does its best to recreate a number of variations that are as similar as possible to the sound that you're bringing in. So I've got Cosmos set up. It's a really great free tool that organizes your samples. And I'm just going to preview a couple sounds and then drag them into Synplant and see how it does. So, all right, let's take that bass sound there. So I'm going to just drag that onto an audio track, and then we'll pop that in from here. So now we could preview the sound, right? And if we click this button here, we're able to have it try to recreate this patch. Now it's not using any samples, it's actually synthesizing the sound. So it's not sample based once it creates this sound. So let's check it out. And sometimes it takes a little time for it to make all the different variations. So what I'm going to do is I'll just pause and I'll come back when this is complete. So this is good here. So each one of these circles is a different variation of the sound. So here's the original sound again. And let's see how it did. It's pretty cool. Is that? It's pretty close. And if we find one that we like, we could actually just, when I click here, what we actually have is the sound created here. So I could just play it across the keyboard. So yeah, just right away it creates this for us, which is really cool. If we jump back in, we could choose a different sound and then play that across the keyboard. Or maybe one of these darker ones. So very cool. If we want to save one of these sounds, we can, once again, come out of here and then, and also we can play with this sound further if we want. We'll get one that's a little closer, like that sound there. And then all we got to do is just come over here and we can save it as pluck bass or something. Plucky bass 1. And we can save several versions of this from this genome here. So let's, now that you understand how that works, let's just drag in some samples and see how well it does it. So, all right, looks like we've got some kick drums here. Let's see how it works on those. I might as well just pop in some sounds here. Yeah, let's bring that one in. All right, there we go. So we'll play with those sounds. So first one, just drag it in. And then just let it create. And when I'm overall satisfied, I could just pause it here instead of letting it create all kinds of different variations. So then I could just kind of go through. And one thing I like to do here, I could create a new audio track. I'll just drag these samples over there. And then I'll just hit record. This is set to resampling. And then I just solo this. Like if I had anything else on this session, if I didn't have this solo, then it might play different sounds. But anyway, I just do that as a habit. And now I can just hit record. That was a long one. And now I have all these that I could cut up and use as variation samples, which is great. Or, once again, I can come over here and just choose any of these. And now I've got it across the keyboard. So yeah, so it just plays it at all different pitches and stuff. So that's really cool. So if I wanted to, I could just choose one of those and once again save it as a kick. But let's just keep on going. Let's see how it does with this sound here. Yeah, all right. Also, you could choose how much of the sound you want it to kind of base its sound on. So maybe we can go a little shorter. Cool. And we'll get started. And once again, this can create like 30 or more variations. But this is enough to give you an example. So that sounds pretty close right there. So I think we might actually have that sound. And just like that, we've got ourselves a nice little bass sound. So I could come over here and just save it as, I'll just call it wow bass. Why not? And I've got it, and once again, I can further tweak with the sound just by stretching these out if I wanted to modify it. And then it becomes unrecognizable once it gets out here. And so forth. Let's keep going. Actually, let's do this one. Sounds pretty close right there, so we could just take that, maybe back the release off. Just like that, we have a patch. Let's play with some other sounds here. Let's try lead sounds. I'll just drag that in. And it's got a limit to the length of the sound that it's going to capture, so we just got this amount because it's a long sample. But that's long enough. See what we've got here. That one's pretty damn close. Very cool. Let's keep going here. Let's go with Soundscape or something. that'll be fun. We'll play with some of those sounds. Awesome, yeah, let's do that as well. So let's see. Does it get more interesting as we go? Let's just start with that. All right, let's hear the sound again. Cool. So although it didn't recreate this, it really did create some interesting sounds, some that I might even like better. So that's always something that can happen as well. Let's see how that sounds if I play it on a keyboard. Yeah, that's really cool. In fact, I'll save that as an atmosphere. Soundscape 1. And I like that both of these kind of have a vocal sound to them. Really cool. And once again, for some of these sounds, I might just go ahead and record some of these just to add to sample packs. Let's do this and solo this. Start here. And also, if I wanted to, I could regenerate these variations as well, just by clicking this button here. So all of this is really, really cool. On top of that, any of these that we choose, we could come in here and we could fiddle with it even more. Just because we're having fun here, I'll try pulling this in and see if we could just create some interesting percussion. First, I'm gonna just have the multiple notes just to see how it handles it. So we got a bunch of variations here that I mean, they don't really sound anything like this, but I didn't really expect it. I was more curious what it would come up with from such a complex reference. So let's see what we've got here. And what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and record this again here. There we have it. I mean, piece of cake to put together sample packs and things like that. I mean, all these sounds are super original, and most of them are pretty interesting. Obviously, you'd have to cut out the ones that sound too similar and stuff like that, but really, really great stuff. So now let's get a little closer here. You know what? I might need to re-drag it in. Yeah, I'll just drag it in again. And oh, that's too bad. So seems like I can't make it as short as I want. What's another thing that we can play with here? Let's just look for something noise related. All right, that'll do. Back to the original sound here. Cool. Let's see what this does for a complicated sound like that. That's pretty good. That's really interesting. Yeah, all of them were good. I think the second one might be. Hard to say, but anyway, any of those can once again become a sound here. Yeah, cool stuff. So anyway, Synplant, if you already own version 1, I think you could grab this for 50 bucks. That's what I paid for the upgrade. Or it's $149. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by Synplant, and this is just another video out there showing what it's capable of, but I hope you got something out of it. I hope it inspires you for some really interesting and quick sound design ideas. So with that, have a fantastic one. I'll speak to you guys soon.